This is Gazan. I have a guest today. He's an African brother from Sierra Leone. So he's telling me about his new book, African, and he will introduce himself first.
Thank you for having me on your show. My name is Unblind Tibin. My book is the African Ancestral Manuscript. It's a book that allows us to connect to our African ancestors by knowing when they were born and reading short bios about them on the days they were born so that we can reclaim 365 days for our African ancestry and be in touch with our African ancestors, because when we forget our ancestors, we forget who we are. And we get lost in the paradigm of white supremacy and the paradigm of stereotypes, which cause us to be invisible and cause us to stray away from the path which has already been aligned to us to reach our greatness.
This is very amazing, and I have to ask you how you get your name. I'm blind. It's fascinating. Why you call yourself I'm blind?
You're unblind if you study ancient Egypt and ancient Egyptian priests as well. The process of living is a process of becoming unblind. So you are born with the physical eyes which are intact and you can see reality, but that reality has multiple facets to it. And as you grow, you understand Ma'at, which is the truth behind the mass of reality. And becoming unblind is able to see not just the physical images and the physical things in front of you, but how the whole picture plays into it. So you can interrelate with things according to the divine plan. And that's what Unblind is all about.
That is really amazing. Thank you for teaching us. And I know that you are from Sierra Leone, and I've been to Sierra Leone through 2010. And I know the main street in Freetown named after your dad, Shaka Stevens. And he told me that earlier before we start this interview. And please tell me about your dad and his influence on the Sierra Leonean culture and his relationship with Haile Selassie of Ethiopia too.
Yes.
Haile Selassie.
Yes, actually, a little correction. It's my grandfather. Yeah, so my grandfather was Shaka Stevens, who was the first president of Sierra Leone. And he was very amazing. He brought the OAU to Sierra Leone. Of course, Haile Selassie was one of the founders of the OAU. And so he had a relationship with Haile Selassie as well. It was very interesting because when my father and my mother were in England, they were close to Selassie's family because they were in England as well. So it just shows you how the global African connection between East Africa and West Africa, how we are really connected. And we need to stay connected because at the end of the day, African unity is about empowering all Africans from across the continent. And I think that my granddad had that vision as well as Haile Selassie, and that vision was shared. And we need to continue to share that vision and grow that vision, especially now where we have very vicious policies which are denigrating the African continent and targeting our immigrants all across Europe and America. So we need to really reclaim our greatness and come together.
Freetown is a very wonderful city in Africa, and it's named, I think, for the free people from the American slave system, or from the British slave system. And the Liberia is from people who were free from the American slave system.
Yes.
And after that, it's, I think now it's about 100 years. So do you see any difference in the African lifestyle and the freedom and all the related with this issue?
Very good question. In 1799, the Black Nova Scotians, ironically from Canada, returned to Freetown, and that was the founding of the British Empire in Africa. And they mixed with the Black Poor from England, as well as the Maroons from Jamaica returned as well, and they founded Freetown. And Freetown was a place where also the liberated Africans were taken, because when the British ended the torture and enslavement of our people and kidnapping, they would free the ships of the Portuguese and the Spanish and free those people in Freetown. So Freetown has a collection of wonderful Africans from all across Africa, lots of Yoruba, Igbos, Ashanti, Akan people who founded the Creole population in Freetown. So that's a little bit of heritage. I think, there's been some progress. I think there needs to be more progress because, as you know, nowadays, people are identifying themselves with the West too much. And it's very important that things like this book and little tools that we have can show them that their greatness is not in claiming somebody else's ancestors or somebody else's way of living, but in reclaiming their traditions, their way of living, and understanding how we triumphed over enslavement, we triumphed over colonialism, and the only way we did so is by coming together and understanding that we have a common African consciousness which can permeate across the different countries.
Thank you very much, my brother, and hopefully I'll read your book. And please tell me a few things about your book and what you are focusing on, and why you want to tell us, and why you want to write this huge book. It's it's a big book.
Yes. Yeah, it's like an encyclopedia. I mean, but the thing is that every day you can read one page and that'll be sufficient. So even though it's a big book that you can spread out throughout the whole year, read a page a day, and you'll get to the end of the year knowing more about a bunch of African ancestors, which you might not have known about, whether they're from Haiti, whether they're from Barbados, whether they're even from China and India. We were all over the world doing wonderful things. So we need to rediscover and put this back together so that we can reclaim our greatness and understand that we're not slaves. We're born of royal ancestry, and that's really who we are. So this book is all about the first step in us reclaiming our true heritage, and not the heritage which is one based on white supremacy. Of course, things like when the French went to Egypt and they saw the black statues, they blew off their noses and their lips so that they could hide the history. We need the history to come out, the truth to come out, and our people to understand that we are the great ones. Ashe.
I think this is a brief introduction. Hopefully we will meet again in my TV show, and we'll have a full-fledged interview about yourself and what you do, and about African and African tradition. And thank you very much for your time. Have a lovely festival.
Thank you, my brother. Peace and blessings to you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Denado to you.
Oh, you speak Amharic a little.
Yeah, a little. My wife is my queen is actually Ethiopian.
Is she?